validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. We're entertaining a very interesting Thursday today. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. I know that you got that link in the comment section already. If you want to come on to the show, you can always click that link, approve the mic, approve the camera, and bring yourself on in real time. Yeah. So we got a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about coming soon. I noticed that Trump's been saying some stuff in politics, so we're going to be touching base on that on Monday. What's really going on in the White House, where we've got a lot of understanding as to the big changes coming April 2nd, officially April 2nd. And not too long after those changes, we're going to be looking at what's really going on with TikTok and if it's still going to be here or if it's going to disappear, because we do have a few days left, a few weeks left, but a few days after the 2nd, that will be when the extension is due. So we'll be able to see what's going on there. Special shout out to TikTok. Even though we're not there yet, special shout out to them. Special shout out to Twitch. Special shout out to Twitter. For those of you that are watching us on Twitch and Twitter, we really appreciate you guys coming to the show. Yeah, today we're going to be getting into the secret of thriving while being single, as well as living in the dating world that we have right now. So, we're going to be touching on a few dynamics today. We have a different show every day of the week. We're live 7 nights a week. We start at about 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is about 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, about 7 o'clock California time. And that is 4 a.m. Green Minutes time, 4 a.m. Universal Standard Time. So we typically live every night of the week. We don't let the sun rise without going live. So unless I'm dead or in jail, probably going to go live. So you can like and subscribe, hit that notification button. It'll give you a heads up that we're coming, and it'll give you another heads up that we're here. You guys can always check out the membership if you like, see some of the merchandise that we have for the show. Also, if you're here for the opening, Higher Ground from alanito.music, special shout out to alanito.music from Switzerland. We have a special shout out to Red Void, Omni81, Liberty Twitcher, Mr. Pibbs, and a few others. Max Opposer, Reese Martinez, Joe. Special shout out to you guys. And quite a few countries around the world that's been watching us. I really appreciate you guys showing us that love and support. It just, really warms my heart to know that we're becoming a bro channel. 75% fellas. Ladies are coming in. They're going to learn some stuff. So today I want you guys to join me as I take on the challenge of being single and fearless in 2025. Now, ladies are good at this. Ladies are good at being fearless. They're more the reckless version of fearless, but can we embrace life without a partner and make the most of the freedom that we have? Well, in today's society, being single is no longer seen as a weakness or a temporary state until you find the one. It's a valid lifestyle choice that's gaining more acceptance and celebration by the day. And I'm excited to dive into the secrets of thriving while being single, as well as dating. So let's face it, being single can be tough. There's the constant scrutiny from family and friends who want to know when you're going to settle down, the feeling of loneliness that can creep in when you're not surrounded by loved ones, and the pressure to conform to societal norms. And let's not forget the quest for meaningful connections in the world where superficial relationships are rampant. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that your worth is tied to your relationship status. But what if I told you that being single can be liberating, empowering, and even exciting? When you're single, you have the freedom to focus on yourself, to pursue your passions and interests without having to consider someone else's opinions or feelings. You can travel wherever you want, whenever you want, without having to worry about someone else's schedule or their personal preferences. And you can find what you can be. And becoming the best version of yourself without the influence of another person is a whole different type of person. Because when you're making changes for the sake of the other person in your relationship, you're becoming a better person for them. When you're making these changes for the sake of you, you're becoming a better person for you. But despite these benefits, many singles still struggle with feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. One of the biggest challenges single face is the constant bombardment of copious-centric media and advertising that makes it seem like being in a relationship is the only way to be happy. And let's not forget the endless stream of social media posts that showcase seemingly perfect couples and their picture perfect relationships. It's easy to get caught up in comparison game and feeling like you're somehow broken or incomplete as a result of that. But here's the thing. Being single is not a reflection of your worth as a person. You are as worthy of love, respect, and happiness as anyone in a relationship. And it's time we start celebrating singleness as a valid lifestyle choice rather than a temporary state until you find the one. In recent years, we've seen significant shifts in the way society views singlehood. With the rise of independent living, online dating trends, and growing acceptance of being single as a valid lifestyle choice, singles are finally getting the recognition they deserve. We're seeing more and more people embracing their single status and living their best life, free from pressure of societal norms and scrutiny. Now, thriving while being single and dating involves embracing your independence, focusing on personal growth, and navigating modern dating trends with confidence. Now, some of the benefits of being single are freedom as well as independence, because being single offers the freedom to make a choice without needing to consider someone else's opinions or preferences prior to your decision being made. You can travel, pursue hobbies, and focus on personal growth without restrictions, because there are certain things that you're not allowed to do, or it's frowned upon if you do it because of the likes and dislikes of your partner. So not having that restriction while you're single allows you to become the better part of you that you would be proud to say that you are. That was a tongue twister. Self-discovery and growth is another thing that's good to look at. Singlehood provides ample time for self-reflection, allowing you to explore your interests, develop new skills, and that will also aid you in becoming the better version of yourself. Now, financial independence is going to be one of those things that a lot of women strive for. And while managing finances independently can be challenging, especially if you're bouncing back from her packing up and leaving with all your stuff, it is also something that can foster financial responsibility and decision making without needing to consider another person's income or expenses. So it's a challenge because with ladies, they have less money to calculate. So they're making decisions with their own money. With men, they have less expenses because the men spend more money by choice on the women. And I mean, somebody can come up and throw shenanigans out there, but do the math. Go look at the statistics. Ask the Google lady. But being single is not all fun and games. We still have to overcome many challenges because the social stigma, despite societal pressures, is still essential to recognize that being single is a valid lifestyle choice. Now, there's a difference between people, not just men, not just women, people who choose to be single and carry themselves and live the lifestyle that would be idolized and respected as marriage material, versus those individuals that perform in lower socially unaccepted occupations with less to bring to the relationship. So we can have a whole show about that later this week, but being able to make a prestigious career choice, it doesn't have to be like a 5-star all day long, but it can definitely be something that you can say in a church or at a family reunion that this is what my partner does for a living and be proud of that. That is when you are aiming for a successful future for yourself. Now, when it's, well, for your partner in that scenario, for yourself, you're just looking at, oh, well, whatever I got to do to make that money, as long as I'm not doing something illegal, I should go ahead and do whatever I want to do And that is a good thought to have. But the downside to that thought is, by any means necessary only applies to putting effort into the positive success of your objectives. By any means necessary to get money could put you in a position where you're doing things you got no business doing, which will take away your right and ability to be successful. Huge difference. Now, celebrate awareness. And Awareness Day is on February 15th. And if you celebrate, and this is like the day after Valentine's Day. So I'm guessing how this worked out is that so many people were disappointed the day of Valentine's Day. Somebody made the day after Valentine's Day a day for people who couldn't find somebody to be their Valentine's the day before. But celebrate it. Reinforce the message. Now, there is some emotional turmoil. Loneliness and self-doubt can be common, but engaging in self-care, spending time with friends and family, and focusing on personal developments can help mitigate these feelings. And always keeping yourself active, always keeping yourself involved in something does distract you from the ability to feel sad or depressed. However, it is more important for you to invest more time and more effort into working through the loss and the grief so that you can be back on your feet stronger and better than ever. Now, the illustration of endless options is always going to be a problem in the modern dating field. And dating apps have created an illusion of endless choices when there really aren't that many people that are actually communicating with you. There's a lot of people hitting that like button. There's a lot of people swiping right on your photo. But what's not happening is that there's not that many right swipes that lead to the right wedding. And that's one of the things that we have to talk about. So it is making it harder to commit to one person. Pat says, or Pat, special shout out to Pat. He's first time here tonight, back again. You ever have a roster of chicks? I've yet to accomplish that. I had 13 in college. They all knew about each other, and we all rode in my large van. I had an 8-seater. Got it from the university so I could take my group with me. And because I wear suits, all of them had to dress professional. There were no short shorts. There were no butt cheeks hanging out. There was no nipples hanging out. There was no belly buttons poking. There was no camel toe. They all wore business casual. We all used to sit around the common areas, and I'm at the head of the table. The tribal chief. I'm at the head of the table, and the 13 surround the table. I have like a couple of them sitting next to me on the arms of the chair, and I got my arms on their legs, and then I have the rest of them wrapped around the front. And we would be doing whatever we had to do to make sure that everybody succeeded in college. But the fact is that I made sure all of them graduated. But I had 13 at that time. And we used to travel as a herd. So I was one guy, 13 girls, and 14 of us would go places. And after college, too old for that. Too old for that. It's a lot of headaches. It's a lot of emotional distress. That's a lot of emotional distress for me to go through. That's a lot of emotional distress. But many people are constantly searching for something better, leading to a grass is always greener mentality. And this can result in difficulty with forming deeper connections with the person you're currently talking to, because you're still looking while you're trying to settle down with the one that you've already got. Increased likelihood of being ghosted or ghosting somebody else, and a sense of this possibility in relationships. And I guess we would be calling that disposability, not dispossibility. So disposability. So the ability to be tossed aside very easily in a relationship. practice my pronunciation. Look, I've only had like 2 to 3 hours of sleep every day for the last couple days. I am definitely building a lisp right now. I am feeling the fatigue equivalent to a hangover. And all I've been drinking is water. Now, the non-date dates are also another problem. The rise of hanging out, Netflix and chilling, instead of formal dating, has blurred the lines of romantic intentions. Primarily, the ladies are doing this. They want to just go hang out as friends, which is not a problem. But you do this, put him into the friend zone, and still benefit from him because he's performing as a husband while in the friend zone. But you are absent from the responsibility and absent from the consideration of performing as a wife while in that same friend zone. Now, this casual approach can lead to confusion about relationship status, lack of effort in planning meaningful experiences, and increasing risk of being strung along. Usually the guy is strung along, but women have had that experience of being strung along by a guy that she was interested in, but he was not interested in her. So I'm more than sure that I can say that just about everybody has had a relationship, at least one, where they were more invested than the other person. And because they were more invested than the other person allowed them to be there, but did not reciprocate. So we all know how it feels. We should all know how it feels. We should all remember how it feels. And we got to be careful that we do not perform the same type of behavior because we didn't like it when we experienced it. So we should not allow ourselves to put somebody else through that. So if you're starting to get the vibe that somebody likes you that you're not interested in, then you got to, really have that conversation with them, not out in the open in front of everybody else, but really have that conversation with them, let them know that this is where you stand with me so that everything is clear and understood. Now, the pressure of perfection, where social media and dating profiles create unrealistic expectations. People often present idealized visions of themselves online. These idolized versions of themselves are going to apply pressure to have this perfect first date, the fear of missing out that can lead to constant comparison. And then you're also going to be experiencing those dating trends. If you choose to date, you need to remember some of these 2025 trends. And I'm going to get into those in a minute because he's going to say, dang, 13, huh? You a man, huh? Online dating paralyzes my cold approaches. Well, the reason why I had 13 is because they all needed me. It wasn't because I had the best game in the world. The fact is that I was a resource to them. And because I was and it wasn't because they were getting money out of me. It was because as an honor student, I was helping each one of them keep their grades up. I was showing them what they needed to know to pass their tests, to get their essays completed, to help them get their degrees. And they knew from my reputation of helping people succeed and I helped other people succeed from my community college until I got into my 4-year institution. So when they met me in my four-year, they already knew that's the guy. He helped this many people get their associates. He's after his bachelor's. Everybody that's with him is going to get their bachelor's. And we did. But see, we're not going to have that same experience on social media because on social media, you are a picture with some text beneath it. Some people will swipe right because they are attracted to the picture, but they're not interested in dating. They might be attracted to the picture, but their lifestyle isn't suitable for dating. They might be attracted to the picture, but they've got too much shit going on in their life that they cannot execute an actual engagement. So your advances when somebody likes your profile, you send them a comment, they don't respond. You're wondering what happened. They just liked your profile. That's because that's exactly what happened. All they did was like your profile. They have nothing else that they want to say or do that involves you. It's just in passing, you look attractive. Which, by the way, that impression will change over time. Women are not consistent the way men are. Where a woman might say that the men are really inconsistent, but the women change up every week, every month. So the kind of guy that she's interested in today may not be the kind of guy that she's interested in 3 weeks. So just because she hit the like button on your profile does not mean y'all are going to have a long-term relationship. When you guys start building that long-term relationship, that's when you start having the idea that you might have a long-term relationship. But you're definitely going to feel paralyzed in dating because as guys, we don't know what to say. But actually, this deck of cards, Dating Assassin, if you were to pick this up, I've got a link on my show in the channel. If you were to, well, it's not on this particular show. The link is in one of the videos on the channel. And if you want some, you let me know. I'll get you another link to it. And then you can let the creator of this know that this and that sent you there. But this deck of cards, we talked about this a few months ago. It has 150 like legitimate questions that you can ask somebody. I'm just going to grab a random card out of this box. And do you want to work for yourself? That's not like that big of a question, but hold on. Simple question. Do you like fast cars? Do you believe in Bitcoin? That's financial questions. This one is not an appropriate question. What's the last book you read and why? These are nice intro questions that you can ask on a dating platform. Do you consider yourself outside of the box thinker? Mac or PC? Do you have dreams? Now that could go more than one way. Do you remember the dreams that you have when you sleep, which actually implies that they make REM sleep, which means they get a lot of rest? Or do you have goals and ambitions? It depends on how they answer. Because when you ask them, do you have dreams? So some people might tell you about the wet dream they had yesterday. Some people might tell you about the nightmare from last week. Some people might tell you about all the things they wish they could have done in their life. And some people might tell you the things that they're still trying to accomplish. And this is just a handful of cards. Let's find another good one. Are you vegan? Oh, here it is. Are you vegan, vegetarian, or pescatarian? Who's your favorite comedian? There's some straight up cards on here that they can ask you, like, or you can ask them why. And the reason why, special shout out to Nico. He's back after a while. It's been like 2 weeks since Nico been here. What's going on, Nico? So these are the kind of questions that you could ask. So when you're dealing with that dry spell in dating, not because you're having a dry spell, but like you don't know what to say, this deck of cards can help you out with that. So Nico, just say what just say what you text. Oh, okay. So this is what was going on before you got here. We were talking about how to survive the slow dating field that we got going on right now, and Pat was saying that he was having some cold approaches with the dating platform. So I was telling him that this deck of cards, and the deck of cards, if I remember correctly, is $19.99 to get the deck of cards. It's 150 cards in the deck, and it has a bunch of really good questions. If you flip through the 150 cards, you can find a bunch of really appropriate questions that you can ask a person on a first question basis of a dating platform, which actually gives you a lot more of a depth perception, because if you're asking them deep questions like what's your 20-year plan, or do you have a retirement strategy set up, or do you plan on being a homeowner later, are you planning on being a parent down the line, stuff to that effect. What's your investment portfolio look like? Are you up or down? These are the things that let you know, like, do you have savings? Do you impulse shop? This lets you know what kind of person you're about to get yourself into. And these random questions gets a conversation. They're very good icebreakers because you didn't have to think about it. And then you could just shift through them. And that's why we were talking about that. But it will help you with talking to somebody on the channel, on the dating platforms, to help get you closer to meeting those individuals in person. Pat says dry spell, more like a Mojave Desert. Actually, I meant online dating slows my cold approaches out in the field. Well, you shouldn't have any cold approaches when you're communicating with individuals in person. You should have the ability to have had enough practice with what should be by now meaningless rejection, because I know that no matter how good we are as men, if we've established a dialogue with a woman and then she ghosts us, it hurts. We're not going to admit it, but it stings a little bit, and then we get back out there and we try again. And while we're talking to somebody new, that person makes us forget about the last person that ghosted us. Now, after you finish dealing with the ones in social media, and after you finish dealing with the stuff that you got going on in your personal life, you start engaging people in person where you have people that are willing to respond and then make future plans with you, such as going on that first date, meeting for a hangout, stuff to that effect. You are able to be more successful faster. So you're able to get cold feet out of the way because you learn through the lack of accountability on the platform how to communicate with the people that respond to your platform. Then after you do that, then you can just take that practice and go and test it out in real life and see how well you do. Nico says, no, I feel after a while of constant rejection, you get discouraged, stop trying, and then you lose your game. Well, we lose our game. Well, hold on. I agree with both of you, but we don't actually lose our game. We have a subconscious desire to not try. So we're not losing our game, we're losing our motivation. And because we're losing our motivation, we're forgetting all of the A-list things that we could have said to captivate the other individual. But we also are using the wrong game in the first place. And that's one of the issues that we have. Our normal go-to behavior as men is to impress the girl or intrigue the girl to convince the girl to follow us into a date that we pay for. Our goal is not to determine if she is valuable enough for us to take on a date. If we were doing the rejecting, we would not have a problem with the quantity of prospects that we go through. Because we are the one being turned down, this is the reason why it becomes emotionally cold, because you are not willing to open yourself up to the physical attraction that you have with this person, because you don't want to risk attempting that and getting rejected for emotional bond. Because men want emotional bonds. Women want financial stability. A woman can get emotional bonds from their male best friends. Men are not that easy. Men typically are friends with women they would sleep with. And because they are friends with women they could sleep with, the only thing stopping the man from turning that into a romantic relationship or a jump off or a friends with benefits kind of scenario is the woman's lack of desire to sleep with that guy. The only female friends that guys have that they are not sexually attracted to are women that are not attractive to that man. Like literally, she wants him, but he doesn't want her. So let's be friends kind of situation. It does go both ways. Women are not the only ones that put people in the friend zone. It is just that it happens to men more often because men do the approaching. She'll say, I'll think about it. And then we wait like a line at the DMV, like sitting on hold with the Social Security office, like waiting on a call back from the IRS. You know, you just waiting. You just waiting. And the thing is that instead of waiting with the hope of potentially turning this one girl into the one, you could be doing your own thing and working on your own life and building yourself up so that if she missed out, she can't circle back and try to jump on the bandwagon now. You've evolved. Another thing that men do that men fail to recognize is that men typically lower their standards very, very far and then aim for a girl that's beneath him in the position that he is in his life, where he takes her on as a liability. Now, the problem is that not that he chose somebody that is less valuable. The fact that you are not satisfied with where you want to be at in life, and you've met somebody who may have plateaued in their desire to succeed. You are not where you want to be at in life. So the more successful you become reaching your goals, the further away from this person that you're trying to hook up with because this person has plateaued. That's a mistake that men make. If we had a different decision-making skill where we were to really interview them, not entertain them, then if they said something out of pocket, we could be like, nah, that's not going to work. And push through. You're still talking to 499 girls, but you're saying no to more of them than they're saying no to you, which gives you a little bit more motivation to get out there and try harder. Now, Nico said it's all about game to me, man. A game of wordplay. But you know the best game, Nico, is no game at all. Truth is simply being honest and forthcoming. Get you a whole lot further. Reason being is because if you're putting in effort to keep her laughing, that's going to be the foundation of your relationship. You make her laugh. Now, you are only being funny in this hour of the date. You might only be this funny every time you're on the date. But the problem is when y'all start spending more time with each other on a regular basis, when y'all move into the same house, you're not going to be putting that much effort into making her laugh every day, especially after she done pissed you off. So the false sense of security that you are a comedian by you playing a game puts you into a bad spot. And now she's always angry because you're no longer doing what y'all used to do when y'all were dating. So the game is good. The game is good for a hit it and quit it. The game is good for friends with benefits. The game is good for swingers. But true to life, as a man, if you put on the table your expectations of the woman, that is the job application. So if she sign up for that, ain't no going back. Or so we would hope. Pat says, oh, I've been lowering my standards. Definitely. Felt nice getting chased. Look, now we can get out there and put those chicks, put them on a treadmill and turn them into some models. They can look like a blue M&M, and then when we done with them, they got a Coke bottle figure. Yeah. Special shout out to Usman. He's back again. Reporter, Mr. President, what can you tell us about him? President, well, the Green Lantern wears green, the Yellow Lantern wears yellow, and the Black Lantern matches his tie with his suit. This is a running gag from yesterday too. Because what I was like the silver surfer with that shiny silver suit on. Oh boy. And I know he's sitting there like, I've got to get a good one before I let him know I'm here. I'm watching the counter go up. I'm like, I know they got some folks in this live. Now, embracing your authenticity, which is what we were just talking about, being more genuine is important more now than ever. Be honest about your intentions and what you're looking for. Show your true self, your quirks, and most of the little things that you got going on in life, just to make sure that they don't have any pet peeves that'll interfere with your ability to be successful down the line. Now, telling them your deepest, darkest secrets, you want to reserve that. When you start looking for an engagement ring, that might be when you want to start uncovering some stuff so that she can understand that the for better part includes the skeletons in the closet, the ones in the backyard, the two under the garage before we change the pavement. I mean, she got to know that there's some stuff going on that she ain't signed up for. And if she's willing to sign up for it, y'all will be good to go. Focus on creating real connections rather than impressing the other person. You want to make sure that this is the person that you want before you put effort into getting them to want you. Men have been doing it backwards. We put so much effort into convincing the woman to stay that we don't even know if we like this bitch. Then we should do some shit that we don't like. Now we're trying to do collateral damage because we already invested in a crash Honda Civic, and now we're trying to put Porsche and Bentley logos all over it to make ourselves feel better, when we really could have left that Honda Civic on the side of the road on the 4 flats it was on when we found it and went and got us an actual Porsche. If we had that mentality, we would not be in bad relationships, because bad relationships stem from misdirected desires. What you want versus what I want isn't what you thought I wanted or what I thought you wanted. The lack of satisfaction is going to compel somebody to step outside of the relationship, whether it's him or her, and whoever gets caught is the reason why the relationship is accused of falling apart. But both sides had lost interest because the first person that recognized they wasn't getting what they wanted out of the relationship switched up. The second person that got switched out on is starting to recognize that not only are they not getting what they're supposed to be getting out the relationship, their partner's being an asshole. Now they're going to switch out. Now they're recognizing how each other is becoming more and more negative, but they're never trying to work that shit out till somebody starts cheating, and now they have a legitimate reason to fall apart. If you practice mindful dating, approach dating with intention and awareness. Set clear, non-negotiable expectations for behavior and communicate them early, because the sooner that you tell them what gets on your damn nerves, the less often they would have done that, which prevents them from becoming a habit with that, which prevent that from being something that gets on your dang nerves. So if you're not a smoker and she lights a cigarette, walk out the room. She can apologize. She can make it up to you. She could buy you a drink. But you don't want her. Why? Because if she's smoking in this bar, she's smoking in her car. She's smoking in her car. She's smoking in her house. She's smoking in her house. She's smoking after sex. Which means if you're not down for smoke, eventually you're going to force her to quit smoking. And you should not force someone else to change for you. They are supposed to choose to do that on their own. So to prevent that from happening, if you're not okay with cigarettes, she pops up a pack. As soon as she lights it up, that's the end of this conversation. I'm gone. I know he just didn't. So special shout out to Cody. He came in this bitch talking about some happy St. Patrick's Day. Ain't it? What wasn't Ash Wednesday last week and Good Friday is now, or like is Good Friday later in the month? Like he's like St. Patrick's Day. So today was supposed to be the day that I was supposed to wear green, right? And is it for today Friday or was it for yesterday Thursday? Well, I know it's March, but like I don't remember when, you know, when I used to participate in Mardi Gras, I knew when Ash Wednesday was because it came after Fat Tuesday. And after everybody else started doing Ash Wednesday, I knew that Good Friday was coming up. And then we've got the gotta wear green. But then I grew up. I don't participate in Mardi Gras anymore. So I don't know when Ash Wednesday is because I completely missed Fat Tuesday. Don't know when Good Friday is, and I've got a gun. Nobody's grabbing my butt. So St. Patrick's Day is out the window. They see me walking down the street and they're like, "Shh, that's all right." Two big ass dogs. Not the girl with the cigarettes. He said, "Happy St. Patrick's Day to the girl with the cigarettes." Nah, that's not gonna work. Nah, that's not gonna work. He gonna Cody, the girl gonna light the cigarette and then he gonna just eat. Take it, put it out on her forehead. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's some Goodfellas stuff right there. I bet you she won't smoke again. Oh boy, that would be harsh. Like I wouldn't know how to feel about something like that if I seen somebody just snatch a lit cigarette out the other person's hand that they talking to and put the cigarette out on their head and and be like, no, just no. Happy St. Patrick's Day, you filthy animal. Some of that Scarface. He said Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci. Now, remember that you guys got to take time to reflect on your experiences, especially the crazy ones. And you want to recognize what you've learned from them because not every encounter with a girl on social media, not every encounter with them in real life is going to end well. And you want to make sure that you learn from the situations that didn't go well so that you don't keep making those mistakes with future prospects. Cody said, we don't need any St. Patrick's Day. We have Blade. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We got a big ass blade. I need to get one of them gigantic fucking swords. I'm in one of them states that has no laws on large weapons. They're relaxed on their open carry Second Amendment conceal the constitutional carry. So you can open carry without a permit, and you can open carry with a 5-foot sword without a permit, especially if you sheath it. So you can walk down the street like a pirate, or as if you were trying to audition for Soul Calibur, and you got the Sword of Light with you or whatever. You can do that. Trying to go find Sephiroth. Wesley Snipes has nothing on you. Yes. Him and King Kong, they ain't got shit on me. Now, you guys want to make sure while you're out there interacting with other individuals that you be aware of shared interests, because when you guys find out that y'all got something in common, you don't want to make that the focal point, but you do want to say, okay, this person just gained a couple extra stars because we have something in common. Believe it or not, while opposites do attract, you typically find yourself with the mirror image of yourself. And this is tough for us to put up with, because you can find fault in the other person that already exists in yourself. So even though it might piss you off when they do it, how do you think they feel when you do it? So before you ask them to make some improvements, everything that pisses you off about them, make sure that you cut that shit out first before you go over there and start talking to them about it. They're complaining about the toilet seat up. You complain about the toilet seat down. We'll find the equal medium. He says sailboats plus, what is that? Dasophilia. Oh, is that supposed to be like The Godfather? He's talking about some almost like The Sopranos, because that's Sophelia. Dos Felias. Dos Sophelia. Put a little bit of the Mamma Mia on there. I know sailboat plus wave means one of us is not coming back to shore. So fear of the ocean. That's what that means. I learned something new today, y'all. He said that means fear of the ocean. I would have thought you fuck with the wrong person. It almost means the same thing. Fear of the ocean. You fuck with the wrong person. Either way, you drown it. Either way, he drowned. Now, remember, if you find somebody with similar interests as you do, this can help you find meaningful connections without feeling pressured by social media or the social media norms. You want to make sure that you're living your best single life, and this requires you to celebrate your independence. Use Single Awareness Day that happens on February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, as the opportunity to treat yourself, engage in activities you love, not something that somebody else likes, and appreciate your autonomy. Focus on personal growth. Invest time in self-care, investment portfolios, learn new skills, learn new diversification platforms, add pursuing passions, add international travel with investments. What did we say yesterday? Generate wealth. Invest, grow, improve. And when you're pursuing that passion, you want to do it with one that brings you joy and fulfillment, not that co-op game on Call of Duty that pisses you off because the newbies be trolling, or that GTA 5 mod where everybody's out there like blowing up everybody else with the grenade launcher. You want to just kind of move past that. Cody says floaty arms float in the lake, not when you tie them to rocks. Everything sinks if you use a big enough rock. Cultivate self-confidence and self-worth, and don't rely on relationships for happiness or fulfillment. Now, you want to build a support network, which is something that guys should already have, but we don't. We fail to prioritize our own personal support network. And a lot of times, if we have a support network before the relationship starts, a lot of us distance ourselves from our support network to show loyalty to our girlfriend, who is not showing us wife behavior or reciprocating by distancing herself from her female friends. Once we recognize that, we've gonna have to start making some changes. Special shout out to Max Opposer. I had gave him a special shout out earlier today, but he's here. He's here. He's in his house. Good to see you again tonight. You got exams coming up? Because I know that right around spring break, and spring break, if it ain't here yet, it's coming. You gonna have you some tests, and you gonna be like, ooh. See, I had to look at them words to make sure that they was appropriate before I put them up there. He said, do you like Alamama Rilama? What is Alamama Rilama? I don't even know what that is. You mean, bro? Nah, real, bro. Dude, I'm a teacher. I know. YOLO. Special shout out to Ruderus. He said, Osama bin Laden in Fortnite. Oh. So the guy that everybody was pissed off at is in Fortnite. All right. Special shout out to Bayside. First time tonight. Game got aboard. Oh, no. Shoot. I promised you yesterday. I gave you my word. You know what? I had went straight to sleep and had bullshit happen. Game got aborted. I failed. I'm going to do it right now. Stay right there. Stay right there. Boom. We going to get this match. Balanced odds. 3-day spin. Challenge out there. Now I'm watching this time. We could. Because I had sent the intro, so I think I was supposed to make the first move, and if I didn't, then it aborts the game. Otherwise, you would have got an easy victory because I had forgot to get back to it. You said, wait, you're a teacher? Yeah, you think that I'm just sitting up here talking about nothing? Bayside said, good evening, Xander, a.k.a. Tyrone. Hey, y'all better call Tyrone. Call him. Would you thought, Max, that I was just up here teaching folks stuff for no reason? You thought I was just bored? No, I mean in school. Yes. I teach 15 or 20 countries around the world. Yes. I'm not a self-proclaimed teacher. I'm a certified teacher, bro. Math, physics, geometry, psychology. Yes. Pre-calculus, trigonometry. I got a couple of them right after the show. He said, okay, dude, but he put the F there so it looked like feud. And I was sitting here like, I'm down for a feud. Did you accept the invite? See, it ain't there. Grandmaster. Who is Grandmaster? Grandmaster sent me a request. I accepted Grandmaster's request. There we go. Now we got a game going. Wait, is the game going? Don't worry, y'all. I didn't forget about the show. I wanted to make sure that I got the game up there with Ruderus because I told him that me and him was going to get into one. I'm going to make it a habit to make at least one move a day with you. There it is. There it is. Which one am I? Oh, now this is some compromising stuff, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Special shout out to Carl. Carl's in here for the night. Hey, man. All trades. He's a man of all trades. Yes, I am. Now I don't have my queen. I think I did better this time because you was missing 2 pieces last time, and now you're missing the queen. Mango Cap. Cody said he is still the student. Lubu. Man, Lubu used to beat my behind on it. Yeah, definitely. I'm world trades. Must have beat Rooters first. Well, I wanted to see what it was going, but no, I was looking at it like, yo, they tried it. And the reason why I'm saying they tried it is because I started the match, and ironically, I'm the black pieces. So oh, and black doesn't go first. So that means I'm waiting on you. So I'll be checking this every day to make sure that I get my moves in. That way I don't lose. Now, Max said, remember when my friend got on the face call and said just pooped in my pants and it smells disgusting? Yeah, I remember how you guys were over here clowning around on the show. Y'all was plum D fools. He could learn something right now while we talking about how he can find a girlfriend. You at least got laid recently. I lost all my Elfro, my Elo from 2000 to 1900 in a day. How did you do that? Oh, you lost your level? How did you lose your level? It wasn't because you was facing me. That was a draw. Make sure you guys like and subscribe as y'all dive in here. Actually, that didn't even start, so it couldn't have been a draw because we would have to start the match. And if we start the match, then you would have won by default. So it wasn't because of our match. That had to have been you was playing somebody else. Better watch who you play at level 2000. Now, we were talking about building. I had lost too many games yesterday. Speaking of, is your girlfriend playing with you now? Since you're the black in chess, did you steal the game? Dude. Black people don't steal chess. We don't steal chess unless it's a glass chessboard, a gold chessboard, a chessboard made of Newports, a chessboard full of Colt 45s. If he has some old E over there, we might take some of that, but just a regular chessboard, that's not what we trying to do. That's good to hear. He said, how do you steal? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Duty, bruh. Well, you're the one. You asked me a wild question. I had to give you a wild answer. I don't know how they expect me to steal anything on a chess game. As soon as it recognizes that you've made a play, Ruderus, the game will commence and the 3-day counter will start, and you're probably gonna smack me up after that. But I got your queen. First move. But that goes to show you how bad I am compared to him, because if he has to play without a queen, whoo, if he would have had a queen, he probably would have wiped the floor with me. Cody says, no, it was more like do we would you date Camille? No, I'm not even gonna finish the name. No, she's financially irresponsible. They wanted you to steal the game in the middle of the game. You rocked opponent shocked. Well, that would have been interesting if I would have won that game by default, by accident. He's saying, why not? Why? Well, she's financially irresponsible, bro. So look at the campaign that she went on. She raised billions of dollars and owed billions more. So her campaign trail, all of the supporters that she had, paid for her way. She spent more money than they gave her. So she had to do a second fundraiser after she lost to pay off all of her debts. Now, imagine me with a female that Michael's back from another account. Special shout out to Michael. He keeps diving back in. But if she would have had my finances, we would be bankrupt, because we're not going to be able to do fundraisers every month to replace money that she's wasting. Bro, what do you have behind you? A chair. Cody says Kansas Harris is the only one that can restore the forest and restore the natural order. You should do a house tour. Now, I'm not one of those people. I don't do cribs. I don't do pimp my rides where I show off all my stuff, because when you show off all your stuff on social media, everybody know what you got. That encourages people to come to your house and steal it. And then if they don't come to your house and steal it, once everybody know who I got, somebody could whistleblow on my ass, and then I'll have a situation where the IRS start trying to audit me because of all the shit that I got. Nah, I don't want to go through that. So instead, nobody knows what I got. Nobody knows what I don't got. Nobody knows where I am. That way the IRS can't find me. Safest place for me. Because if the IRS finds me, I promise you I'm going to be in jail. I promise you I'm going to be in jail. Because, when they knock on the door, they going to catch them. I'm not even going to have a conversation. It's going to be like Pulp Fiction in the pawn shop. They going to get it. Come knocking on my door talking about some IRS. Between those are the letters of the alphabet that can't come to my house. IRS and ATF. Those are the I feel more comfortable with FBI and CIA, but IRS and ATF, no. They're gonna get the same experience. She's an animal. Max says, but I'm not black. I won't steal. That don't matter. It's a secret bookcase getaway door. Yo, they got these I forgot what the name of they call them, but they got doors that look like bookcases. They got doors that look like mirrors. They got doors that look like portraits. And like you touch a special location of the door and it kind of like folds in, switches up some kinds of way. And there's a whole room behind the door. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, that's dope. If I can make a window disappear, I could turn a 3-bedroom house or a 4-bedroom house into a 3-bedroom house and have a special room that nobody knows about. Then if you dial 811, you can find out if you can dig a hole directly up under the house and make a tunnel out of that room 3 miles down the road where you have your own nifty escape room. Because y'all be going to escape rooms so that y'all can do puzzles and figure out if y'all can get out on time. I'm trying to make the kind of escape room where when they knock on the door and say we have a warrant, that they can open the door. Nobody's here. Since you're black, do you drive a Hellcat? What? That's y'all kids. No, I drive a Cadillac, sir. Because, if y'all remember Cadillac Records, your Muddy Waters, he said, if you hang around me long enough, everybody get a Cadillac. That's how it worked. Oh, but we do eat fried chicken. We eat a lot of fried chicken. And watermelon and Kool-Aid for dinner. One day I'm gonna come to the show with fried chicken just to pun it out. Be sitting here like fried chicken trending. Yeah, cooking with Kaya would be pissed off because I'd be eating everything she got going on. Like, get back in there, girl. Call Triple H for advice. I can't call Triple H for no advice. With the way I'm hitting this water, Triple H would have spit it all over my damn laptop. I had to buy me a new laptop. His pyro would have hit. The water would have went everywhere. The X would have came across with the smoke. I'm telling you, it would have been over. Speaking of Triple H, I got an open challenge for Travis Scott for the hardcore title. We can make it a triple threat with Chris Brown first sight. Hashtag Chris Brown first sight. Bayside said apocalypse now. Definitely. Now, we were talking about ways for us to survive the single life. Now, if you nurture your relationships with your friends and the family, this is going to give you that strong support group we were talking about a minute ago. And if we put more effort into that, we will be able to have something to help us counter the feelings of loneliness. Oh, Max, what do you think about the black kids that wear masks and have their pants down to their knees and act like gangsters in school? Well, they're kids. Because if you were in prison doing that, you would have lost your cookies and your milk at the same time. Truth, You don't need a mask. Just stop smiling. Nobody will see you anymore. You'll be invisible. Most of them are on probation. Everybody trying to go after it. They're trying to create ops so that they can go after their ops. It's like hide and go seek. See that, Max? When we start touching on stuff we ain't supposed to be talking about, the internet start fucking up. You know how Big Brother be EMPs and wiretapping stuff. Just because the feds might be watching now. But what do I think about that? I think the kids need to pull their pants up. And not for any type of moral or ethical reason. I believe the kids should pull their pants up specifically because when it's about to go down, you can't take off running if your pants is around your knees. If the situation gets thick, you cannot get out of there fast enough if you're losing your shoes and you're losing your pants, and now you're down the street barefoot, one sock on, one sock off, and your drawers, and then you expect them to let you get your clothes back when they catch you. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Then if your shoes is expensive and you got the shoelaces tied like nooses, but they're not actually tied, so it look cool, but you can slip right out them bad boys, that means that them expensive ass shoes that you just bought will not be on your feet when you run off. So that means you're running away from your money. I don't understand why people do that. From that mindset. I ain't even trying to tell them how the image is. I'm not trying to tell them about stereotypes. I'm going to try to tell you how your expensive Gucci outfit is missing your pants and your Jordans is gone because you ran too fast and left your Jordans behind, or you went back for your Jordans and now you're the first victim in a scary movie. I don't understand why people do that. Bayside says, Max, the same question could be asked why white kids commit mass shootings. Special shout out to Bayside. I wasn't going to ask that question because I already know why they commit mass shootings, because they don't have no home training. Because if they had parents, how many black kids get their mama and daddy gun and shoot anybody? They got to get a gun from somebody in the neighborhood. They not taking their mama and daddy gun. White kids got parents that don't watch the guns. And that's why the kids get the guns, because if the kids' parents would be responsible, not the kid's parent, fuck that. If the owner of the gun is responsible for the activities that the gun was used for, the same way the owner of the car is responsible for the activities that the car was used for, unless otherwise reported stolen before the activity. When them kids do what they do, mom and dad go to jail for negligent homicide because you let that gun go out of your sight. Guarantee you every other parent with a gun that's got kids in the house would secure their firearms where their kids wouldn't be shooting up other kids. But if those parents paid more attention to their children, got their kids counseling, took them out of the school that's treating them bad and put them in a school that won't treat them bad, put them into a public school and donate all your gun money to the public school so the teachers treat you like gold, then the kids not going to be getting treated like garbage. And if the kids ain't treated like garbage, they're not using mass suicide as a source of revenge, because that's what it is. It's revenge. They're not crazy. They're just using this as an outlet to vent the fact that they have no other control in their life and they want to get back at somebody else in the most extreme way possible, but they're not recognizing the consequences of their actions. And once you get started with something like that, there is no finishing it. Somebody's going to finish that for you. Max says, do you like promethazine gooning? I don't know about that. Bouncing off the towers. Exactly. Don't be disrespectful, Max. Bad doesn't have a race. He young. He don't know no better. But the thing is that the truth, you did make a good point though, Bayside. Like, we're not paying attention. The parents in general in the modern society right now in 2025 are not doing a good job of looking after their kids. They're not doing a good job of teaching their kids first-person accountability. They're not doing a good job of teaching their kids responsible behavior. And that's one of the reasons why some children can jump up onto the podcast and make an ass out of themselves, because there's no consequences for that. They have entertainment out of that. But the problem is is that when they become grown, 16, 17, 19 years old, and that video of them acting an ass on the podcast 5-7 years ago come out, they're going to be embarrassed then, but it's too late. You can't take it down. Intentional dating was the next thing we were going to talk about. If you focus on purposeful connections rather than the superficial attractions, you communicate intentions early for alignment and a healthy relationship. This way you guys know what you're looking for. If you're dating for long-term relationships, they call that date to marry, and she's dating for the same thing, then you guys should be working on your pet peeves, your likes, your dislikes, and also paying attention to long-term financial planning with each other. You're supposed to be looking at their background, their history, and see what their money looks like, what their expenses look like, how many bills you're taking on versus how much capital you're going to take on, because you want to see if we merge together, will we go somewhere, or will we flop? Right? Different kind of conversation as opposed to Trojan or lifestyle. It's a different kind of conversation with the his or her pleasure versus the regular KY. When you're talking about, well, if you're dating to marry and I'm dating to marry, and we might look like we could date to marry each other, what's your 20-year plan? Because if I'm still going to be here in 20 years, I want to know what the hell I'm about to get myself into. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe as you come through. Pleasure-centered love. This is another one that we got to pay attention to, because that's separate from prioritizing goals and align goals with your partner. You do want to put some prioritization towards joy. You do want to put some attention towards intimacy and mutual satisfaction in your relationships. Bayside said, beware of the other little monster when dating is a person's habits. You know something? That's a good point. You want to pay attention to those individuals that have rarely been or never been in a serious relationship, and they're interacting with you. You got to find out if they have desire to commit, because while, yeah, they could utilize that little monster and y'all can have a barrel of fun, the controversy that you're going to have is that once fun is over, is the other person going to get serious? So you got to make sure that it, and like Nico, we were talking about earlier, Nico was talking about, you got to know the game. If you don't use it, you get rusty at it, stuff like that. And I was trying to tell him, it's not about playing the game, bro, because if you put on a role to get that person, you got to play that role the rest of the relationship in order to keep that person. But if you be yourself, all you have to do is keep being yourself. If they don't like who you are when you show up, they're not going to like you in 20 years. But if they like who you are right now, they should still like you in 20 years. But if you're pretending that you're something that you're not, and that's what they like, the Aladdin syndrome, and then you turn into who you really are, and they ain't into that, now you got a reasonable investment that turns into a loss. It's a waste of your time, a waste of your effort, a waste of your resources. And while you're wasting your resources, they're moving on with their life with somebody else. Bayside said it. Absolutely, Xander. Be honest and be yourself. It's less stressful, because if you got to remember what kind of persona you had, what kind of personality you had, it is so much harder. And then if you're playing a field, just like Bayside said, if you've got too many people on your plate, you might forget which type of person you were supposed to be with which type of person that you're talking to now, which puts you in a bad spot. Then you end up in a situation where you lose more than one girl because they start piling up. Now, when you're doing quantity over quality, you will have a larger accessibility of lower grade, lower value women in comparison to your personal expectations. But those are not women that you're interested in marrying. Those are women that you're interested in personal gratification. Once you are no longer in the desire for gratification, or once you start redirecting your mentality towards long-term goals, ambitions, family planning, other stuff like that, all of those women are going to fall off. And then you're going to be sitting there by yourself where you got dumped by 13 girls, 20 girls, 15 girls, because you had a plethora of women and now it's just you. And that hits you a lot harder because you can always reminisce on the days when you had a room full of women that was catering to your every whim. But you're thinking about right now today that you're in this room by yourself and nobody's catering to you. Nobody answers the phone. And that's going to hit you a little bit harder. So less is more. That is the goal. Emotional intelligence. This is something that we talk about on the show a lot of the times. You want to value your emotional awareness and communicate in potential partners. You want to increase your communication with them by understanding and managing your emotions as well as theirs. This is going to be very crucial. You want to work on your self-awareness and recognize your own patterns before you start criticizing their patterns. Practice empathy and active listening. Then you want to learn to communicate your feelings effectively early on in your relationship, because the longer that you feel discontent, the harder it's going to be for you to change it. Because the first complaint that comes out when you first start demanding change is, why are you complaining about it now, demanding change? Because you wasn't complaining about it before. They're not going to accept the fact, and men and women do this, so it's not just women. They're not going to accept the fact that you're asking for change. You're going to be in a situation where the person doesn't care that you're asking for change, and they're going to make you feel bad about you asking for change because they were not intending on changing. So if you're paying attention to what's going on in the beginning of the relationship, you set your ground rules. If it doesn't go down this way, it ain't going down at all. That's when you have situations where people start falling in line or fading away. But in neither situation are you going to be juggling a bunch of bullshit that you should not have to handle, where your homeboys is telling you how stupid you are for allowing this stuff to go down. Now, you want to have you some filter-free dating. Now, this filter-free dating is a little bit different. You want to be authentic and open about your true self, but you also want to avoid traditional dating rules. Now, how this is going to work is she can pay for the first date. You pay for the second one. She pays for the third. You guys do 3 free ones and see where you are. Instead of taking her places that she wants to go for you to wow her, you take her someplace where you can pay attention to her, where you can listen to her, where you can explore what she's got going on, so that by the time you finish that third date, you know if you're going to commit. Get her to sign a girlfriend contract. That way she's guaranteeing you that she's not going to give you no shit. Which is a pre-prep for a prenup. Think about your future. Micromances, which is these 1 to 1.5 year long relationships. Appreciate the small ones. Appreciate the heartfelt gestures over time. And you want to do this level of appreciation for the little things in life more often over the grand displays of affection. Because one big thing one time is not as gratifying as a million little things all the time. So instead of aiming for that one big thing, or instead of encouraging by accepting from your partner this one big thing, focus on a bunch of small stuff. You're going to save money. It's going to mean more. And those people who have gift receiving as a love language, the more smaller gifts you give them to build the big thing, the more they appreciate you. So, for example, dating a girl that likes Legos. You can buy her little Lego cars. You can buy her a Lego set. You can buy her one of those Lego sets that builds a Lego city. You can keep getting her little Lego attachments. Or you can go the extra mile and start building you some Lego remote control stuff. You can go the extra mile and you can try to build a life-size remote control stuff. And she will appreciate that. Yeah, you're still spending a little bit of money, but you're spending a little bit of money on some Legos. And then you guys are going to sit there and you guys are going to do some kind of hobby arts and craft stuff. These are things that you can do where you're expressing because you know what her hobby is. You know what her passion is. So if ladies who got boyfriends and she knows what his passion is being on a PlayStation. Get a second PlayStation, get on a PlayStation and challenge him to a match. Get on a PlayStation, co-op with them. I told you guys this before. Now, you want to make sure that you also practice self-care. You want to engage in activities that nourish your mind and your body and your spirit. So dropping it like it's hot, twerking up against the wall, grinding on poles, that is not what you need. You need something that's going to revitalize you in a modest and normal fashion where you can still carry yourself with a level of respect, such as meditations, journaling, and exercise, where you're doing normal stuff that allows you to bring together a better peace of mind. Now, make your space your own when you're out there doing this by yourself. When you do not have a girlfriend or a boyfriend at the house with you, you want to personalize your living space to reflect your personality and your interests. And when you do develop a partnership, you want to make sure that you take down 45% of your stuff to make room for 45% of her stuff. But that means that 50% of your stuff is still off. 55% of your stuff is still on the wall. You'll replace 10% of your stuff with 10% of baby stuff. Treat it like a stock option now. Make sure that you guys are open to that communication, because if you're engaging in friendships with both single and married individuals, you're able to build a more diverse social network. You want to spend more time finding friends that have wealthy lifestyles. I had to think of the correct word for that. And the fact is that if you do, then you'll be able to find ways to make yourself more financially successful, maybe piggyback on one of their ideas and make yourself a little bit more money. That way you can have the money to get the thing that you wanted to get that you could barely afford. So when you're focusing on your personal growth, you want to also commit to your healing, self-journey, and self-improvement to attract meaningful relationships. And I can tell you that for me personally, being single has been a journey of self-discovery, which is why I currently don't have anybody here. And that self-discovery leads me to a lot of growth, which you guys can see on the show on a daily basis. And I've learned to love myself, my flaws, and everything. The women can do the same. But you also have to recognize that while you love yourself and your flaws, you're still not perfect. So you also have to recognize some humility. And you want to focus on becoming the best version of yourself by doing things differently than what you do, some way, shape, or form. And I can tell you that if you're going through this, you'll realize that being single is not just about being alone. It's about being brave enough to take on the world on your own terms. You guys got to realize it's okay to take a break. Dating can be emotionally taxing. It's perfectly acceptable to take time off from dating and recharge, to focus on your self-care and personal growth, to reassess your dating goals and your strategies. But you also want to remember that rejection is not a reflection of your worth. In the world of modern dating, rejection is common but often misunderstood. A mismatch doesn't mean you're inadequate. Sometimes timing or circumstances are the issue. When you use rejection as an opportunity for self-reflection and growth, you'll be able to find better ways to make yourself more successful in your relationship. He said we'll be putting an X on that. Well, yeah, because Xander starts with an X. So if I did, but I didn't do the X because then I'd be competing with the Twitter T. I mean the Twitter X. I got the two T's up there, Twin Towers, Tatas. Now, quality over quantity, we talked about this earlier. Despite the abundance of options, meaningful connections are still very rare. So focus on the quality of the interactions rather than the number of matches. You want to make sure that you are selective about who you invest your time in and your energy in. And the rare breed that gets your investment financially, those are the ones that you're looking for the guaranteed long-term establishment with. Remember, the few strong connections are more valuable than many superficial ones. I can tell you guys that one thing that stuck with me is the idea that being single is not a lack of something, but rather an abundance of freedom and opportunity. It's a chance to explore new hobbies, travel to new places, and meet new people. It's the freedom to be whoever you want to be without the influence of somebody else. And it's the abundance of freedom that allows me to live the kind of authentic life that I would like to have. So if you're single and you're feeling empowered, you know that you are not alone. You're part of a growing community of singles who are embracing their freedom and living their best lives. And if you're struggling with feelings of inadequacy or loneliness, know that you're not broken. You're just in a season of growth and transition. And while it may be tough and stressful, it is going to be successful for you down the line. Understand these hidden aspects of modern dating. Hold on now. Try me. And apply thoughtful strategies. See, I lost my place on the whole thing. So that you can navigate the complexities of today's dating landscape with greater confidence and success. Now, remember, the goal is not just to find someone, but to find the right someone while staying true to yourself. So being single is fearless in 2025. Therefore, it is all about embracing your freedom. You want to make sure that you are focusing on your personal growth. You're living your most authentic life that you want to have. And you want to make sure that you recognize that your worth is not tied to your relationship status, but rather your unique identity and your strength. I keep left clicking the right click. Bayside says, like you said earlier, Xander, if you had a blue M&M, you could turn her into a hourglass. When you meet a woman's emotional needs and stand on your own business as a man, she's all yours. That is true, Bayside. That is definitely true. The fact is, standing on your non-negotiable expectations for behavior will definitely put you in a position where the person that decides to stay with you will stay with you for the long haul. And if you are changing to satisfy them, they will definitely change to satisfy you. So it is going to be reciprocation. But you as a man have to make sure that you're finding that woman that will make those changes for you so that you can make the appropriate changes she's looking for her, so that y'all can experience that reciprocation together. And making that type of change is not just not doing it in front of her. It is not doing it at all ever anymore, so that she doesn't have that issue anymore. So if you're single and you're proud, make sure that you guys share your stories with me in the comments section down below. And if you guys want to learn more about the modern dating trends, be sure to check out some of the videos we got coming up for the rest of the week, because after I finish with my 1 o'clock, I got to give me some lunch and feed the dogs. I'm like Mr. Burns over here. And then after that, I'm going to be posting up some more scheduled lives for the rest of the weekend. So we are live 7 nights a week. So if this is your first time or you haven't been here in a while, make sure that you know we're going to be here every night at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is 7 o'clock California time, 11 o'clock Florida time, 4 a.m. Greenwich time, and 4 a.m. Universal Standard Time. Now, as we crossed over a nifty hour and 35 minutes of the show, I really appreciate you guys for coming to tonight's show. I have ran out of information for y'all. So make sure that you guys continue to like, subscribe, and share with some of the people that you know that could potentially benefit from this. Also, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you, ladies, to please make it make sense. So, ladies, please make it make sense. And fellas, 75% of y'all are up here doing it out with the bros skis. What city are you in? Well, I'm in one of the cities in America. That way, you guys know. Okay, fairness, we're operating out of Tampa, so that you know, Hillsborough County. And that's what we try to keep going. But just to make sure that I cover all the time zones. And actually, we started in Tampa. Now, we are supposed to be trying to get some traveling in coming soon once we get a little bit more of a followership. But we're definitely keeping things really close to home for right now. But as we continue with our investment portfolios, as we start seeing change and improvement from the investment platforms, especially in this bearish market where people are starting to consider it a recession, you'll see us in, Florida is lovely. I like going to Siesta Keys. Beautiful sandy white beaches where the police harass you if you got a good tan. But, I get to go out there with my service dogs and, enjoy life. So it is a very good place to go, except in September when the Tesla Cyber vehicles were burning all the houses down from the saltwater exposure. That was probably the only time that it sucked over there. A lot of Bay Area people are moving to Florida. Well, Tampa Bay, the Bay Area is in Florida, but they're moving outside of Florida. They're moving away from Florida. A lot of them because of that last flood, because you can't own an electric car in that state, like talking about it, because not too many people want to insure them now, since they had the car caused the house to burn down. So the car insurance had to pay for the property damage of the house. So there was a lot of stuff that went on over there. Oh, yeah, they got a lot of beautiful women out there, especially the ones that were in South Beach, because they have a few clothing optional beaches over there, and everybody opted for no. So, yeah. And it was like Baywatch uncensored. So I got to tell you, fantastic. Anyway, we're live 7 nights a week. And shortly after I finish doing what I got to do with my next client, then I'm going to be lining things up. So if you come back in a few hours to the channel, you will see new shows scheduled for the rest of the weekend, because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are already selected. They just haven't been posted yet. And then Monday, we're doing business and finance, with dealing with what Trump's got going on. Tuesday, we're going to be talking about precious metals. And then Wednesday, we're going to be talking about New Zealand. So we're going to be getting all that stuff set up later tonight. He said it's about to be bananas for spring break, but beware of the measles. The measles is not what you've got to worry about. It is the bacteria and the parasites that are on the shorelines of Florida and the Gulf of Mexico. And you go out there with the open cut and not paying attention, and you'll mess around and have you something eating your flesh away like Ebola. I ain't going in the water no more. It ain't safe. If you can't put a few 100,000 gallons of bleach in the water and kill some of that stuff, I'll stand like 100 feet away from the shore or the water, the tide, and like sit in the chair and watch or something. Like it ain't play. When we was young, when we was kids, we used to be able to go and play in the water. Now you go play in the water and you come back with something crawling through your skin like species. I ain't trying to do all that nowadays. I'm not saying that it's like that everywhere in the world, but I know that when they reported it in Florida, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So that's all I have for you guys today. It's always a pleasure. Special shout out to Bayside Usman, Satellite. He didn't pop in today, but he should be here tomorrow. Nico, Max. I gotta be missing some folks. Special shout out to Cody D, Ruderus, I really appreciate you guys because y'all are like some of the people that show us a lot of love, a lot of loyalty. And Mr. Pibbs, I want to throw a shout out to him one time as well. Somebody was asking about him on a show the other day, and I got to give a special shout out to all of the fans, all of them, the old ones, the new ones. I got to give a shout out to all of them. I really appreciate it. So again, that's all I have for you guys. But make sure that you guys hang out and enjoy Higher Ground, which was a album that they had made. alanito.music made for us from Switzerland. So take a listen to it. It definitely gives a good vibe of how the show works. And I know I love the song. I listen to it twice a day, once when the show opens and once when it ends. Peace till next time. Definitely. Peace be still. Like Medea said, peace be still. I'm going to see you next time, Bayside. So thank you guys for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I'm going to see you guys tomorrow night.
Higher ground. Used to chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. Standing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.